Okay guys, we are going to taste test these pickled carrots and zucchini and jalapenos. Are you excited? Let me see. You got this crazy face on. What do you want to try? Carrot first or zucchini?
Carrot! Carrot!
1, 2, 3.
I will do percentages.
You can rate it.
10 out of 10, 1.5.
You don't like it.
I like it.
It's not very vinegary, which I like. I think it tastes pretty good. It's very crunchy still.
I like it super vinegary.
You like
Like
it super
overdose.
I like that it's not that vinegary. It's like definitely a quick pickled carrot. Like it's still very firm.
Mommy,
It'll last a long time.
can I tell you something?
Tell me something.
Maybe the bottom ones are the sour ones.
Maybe. And it's not spicy. It didn't pick up a lot of the spice from the jalapeno either. Okay, let's try zucchini. Ready? You want to cheers?
Oh gosh.
Cheers.
So it's awesome. 10 out of 10.
That's more vinegary. For sure.
More 10 out of 10.
It's got a lot more to it. You want to try jalapeno?
No thanks.
No? Are you scared?
Maybe I will. No thanks. I'll try.
Wait, Lincoln.
I'll try one.
I'll try it first.
I want the white one.
The heat comes after. No. You won't. It's too spicy for you.
Alright, I'll call that 0 out of 0. 0 out of 10.
What about a
0
bean,
out of
boys?
10.
What about a bean?
Ooh.
How about we all take one bite of the bean?
Okay.
Here.
Yo.
Well, that jalapeno was spicy. The jalapeno had some kick to
This
it.
is like the carrot, 1.5.
You think it's not very pickly, hey?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10? Why is
I like
everything
it.
10 out of 10? I like it.
I like it too. I think it's pretty good. This is going to be a good jar of pickled stuff, though. Good.
I'll eat all these.
Apple chips.
Can I say something very short?
Be
Guys, these are very good and can't you tell they are? And watch this. They're so yummy because watch this. You'll never ever get bored again. This,
Hello and welcome back to Baker Brews and another Garden Tours Saturday video. We are going to start off here actually in the kitchen with the preservatives because it's October and it is all about preserving what we got out of the garden, and I love it. I love filling my pantry and my shelves. If you have been following my channel for a while, we just had a baby in the summertime, so it has been busy getting into new routines and new everything with this little baby girl, but we've been loving it and it's been so fun. So I thought I would keep things light and not do too much canning and preserving and just do like easy preservation, like throwing stuff in the freezer. But then I got ambitious and I ended up doing a lot of canning, and I pulled out the dehydrator and we've been dehydrating these apples that a neighbor gave us, and they have been making apple chips, which has been super good. So I'm just going to show you here some of the things that I got up to preserving, and then after this we're going to hop on over to the garden. So here I am slicing up these apples. It would have been way easier with a mandolin, but I just ended up doing it by hand, all of it. I had like a huge case of apples and the dehydrator was running for like, I don't know, a week plus, probably like 10 days. And every day I would fill the dehydrator with these thinly sliced apples, dehydrate them all day, reset the dehydrator, dehydrate all night, and then the apple chips were perfect. They had like a super crispiness to them. So I read that if they break really easily, then they should be able to be stored a lot longer. So from here, I would like sprinkle cinnamon on them for flavoring. But otherwise, I didn't do anything to them. I just sliced them and put them in the dehydrator, and I'm storing them in mason jars. We will see if they make it till Christmas or not. I would love to give some of these away as gifts. I think they would make really nice Christmas gifts, like homemade apple chips. But yeah, like I said, we'll see if they make it all the way to then. Our family has been loving eating these as a snack. It has been such a nice, healthy afternoon, evening snack to pull out for myself and my husband. When we're watching a show, we like to have these apple chips. So they are just really, really tasty. One thing that I love to do every year with all of the tomatoes that I get is to roast them. So I put them all on a cookie sheet, cut them in half, and then I roast them along with usually an onion and garlic, and if I have any peppers, then I'll roast all of that, and it loosens up the peel on the tomato really easily, so then I can remove the peel, and then from there I usually throw it in this big black pot and I puree everything, and I make tomato soup, and I use this as a base for my pasta sauce. So I really like doing this. It's very easy. It's a very easy way to use up the tomatoes. And then I can like get it in the canner really well, or I can freeze the sauce or freeze it as soup. We honestly really like to have roasted tomato soup quite a bit. So we've already done this twice this year. And then now I've decided to can some of it as pasta sauce. So this one I had, like I said, I had red peppers, onions, garlic, and the tomatoes, and now I'm just spooning it into the mason jars, and then I will be doing the canning, the hot water bath canning for that as well. I think I got like 9 jars of pasta sauce, which worked out really well. And like I said, I had already done 2 batches of roasted tomato soup. I still have a bunch of green tomatoes that I'm going to be picking out of the garden. I'm going to get them all now because come October, we have to look out for the frost. So this is the time of year to be getting everything out of the garden that is not going to do well in the frost. And then I didn't show it in this video, or I didn't take a video of it, but I had help. We had our in-laws in town, and I was able to do some salsa, some homemade salsa, which is our absolute favorite thing to make every summer. It's the most labor intensive, I would say, just because it takes so many ingredients, and I'm pulling the food processor out to chop everything up. So it's like got like a whole bag of onions and like a huge batch of peppers and the jalapenos and the garlic and then the tomatoes themselves. So it's just like you have to boil it down quite a bit. I have my homemade salsa recipe in a separate video if you are interested in checking it out, and it turns out really good. It's a little runny, but I figured out that if I just let it boil off for quite a while, like several hours, and then I'm like stirring it quite consistently, then I can boil off a lot of the liquid and I get a much thicker salsa. So this year I ended up adding like way more onions to it and letting it boil off, and I think it turned out really great. So I made a whole bunch of salsa jars. I think I got like 9 jars of salsa as well. And then here I'm showing you guys the pickled mixed veggies that I did. Guys, this recipe is so good. I use it to pickle zucchini in particular. So I use the pickled mixed veggie recipe, and I basically just throw zucchini and peppers in it, and it is the best. We love it every year. And put them in the basket.
Did you hear little
Slowly. Good job.
Look at this, guys. It's a blue-green egg. Looks like it's a bit cracked. There's another blue-green egg.
Looks nice.
Kind of. It's a bit dirty.
It's okay. It's nice and slow because you don't want to crack them putting them in the basket.
Ooh, so soft. It's muffin time! Ah! It's muffin time to pick the tomatoes! Guys, quickly. They look like an eyeball. Look at me, guys. Told you this would laugh. I told you this was a laugh of living the dead.
Even with the new baby, I have really been trying to get out into the garden a little bit every day. You can see me struggling here because I should have put on the carrier as I was trying to harvest and pick off the green tomatoes off of these plants with my kids. But luckily I have the best helping boys because they come over and they were helping me pick tomatoes and the beans off of the plants while I struggled with holding the baby. But it was just, I just love how involved my kids are in the garden. I think that having them be involved in growing their own food is really valuable, really important to me. I grew up on a farm, and so I had loads of opportunities and loads of work to do in the garden. And I really liked that. I liked foraging in the garden. I liked digging up the carrots and the potatoes for dinner and having them fresh. And there's just something about eating like fresh stuff from your own garden. Like, it tastes so much better. You know everything that's gone into it, all of the hard work that's gone into it. And it has that is the taste of summer to me, is picking those fresh things out of your own garden. We are also a homeschooling family, so this is a great opportunity to teach life cycle, changing of the seasons, all of the things that are involved with plants. And I know that later we'll get into more of the science stuff that I really liked, which was, photosynthesis and the botany and the study of plants, and just looking more into that later on will be really cool. I wanted to show you guys this wonky thing happening on my tomato, which I have no idea what that is, and I was going to research it here. Okay, a quick Google research lookup, and I think that is blossom end rot, which blossom end rot is most often caused by a calcium deficiency, which can be due to an acidic soil, irregular watering, and waterlogging, or an ongoing high humidity with a low transpiration, generally caused by reduced air movement. What else? It says both excessively dry and excessively wet weather can adversely change the ratio of calcium salts, and heavily pruned tomato plants appear to be more susceptible to blossom end rot. I did have a few of these plants that looked like they had this weird spotting on them, but most of my tomatoes actually did pretty well. They're not as big of tomatoes as I've had in previous years. These ones seem kind of small, but I also feel like we didn't get as many tomatoes, maybe because previously I had like tomato plants everywhere, literally everywhere. They were even around my air conditioning unit because I had so many. So this year I tried to just be a little more conscientious, and I think I only had 5 tomato plants in this main, I call it the main garden area. It's our only in-ground garden area. And then I had 2 cherry tomato plants in my snack box, and then I had another tomato plant in a pot, and then I had like 4 tomato plants in the raised garden beds. So yeah, I had tomatoes everywhere again, but I just had less of them. They weren't around the air conditioning unit, if you are wondering. But we also went in here and harvested or pulled out all of the dried beans and pea seeds, a whole bunch of the purple pole bean and yellow beans. I left them on, I let them dry, and then I've just taken the scissors and cut off the pods, and I'm going to break the pods open, and we're going to save the bean seeds and plant them for next year. I also harvested my jalapenos from all of my plants. We are hoping to still do the bacon wrap. If you watched September's video, we got bacon now, and now we got jalapenos, so we just got to get cream cheese. We're slowly getting the ingredients together here. But I do want to it's such a crutch. I really want to overwinter these pepper plants because this one in particular in this little blue pot did so well, and the one in my chicken planter did well. I would love to overwinter my pepper plants again, but I had crazy black gnats last winter. So maybe a good extra dousing of cinnamon and a few other things will help with alleviating the black fly gnats that I had, because I do want to try overwintering again. I overwintered 9 pepper plants last year and I only saved like 3 or 4 that made it all winter. And this year I only want to pull up and save like 4. So yeah, hopefully my numbers will be better if I have less pepper plants that I need to ultimately babysit. There's 2 more down there too. Good spotting. Oh yeah, 3 of them.
We just gotta look under bushes, I guess.
Yep. You might have to clip farther up. Open the scissors up a little bigger. Nice job. Look at the three stooges over there. A blonde, a brunette, and a redhead. Blonde, brunette, and a redhead.
So many.
That is a lot of purple pole beans there. Oh, look, there's some more down there.
I see.
Right there, you see the brown ones?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see really well, but even in the fall time here, we're in October, and I still have purple pole beans that we're gonna eat. Like, this thing is amazing, this plant. Wow. We'll have enough for a meal at least. There's quite a few more hiding in here as we are clipping away the dried ones to save the bean seeds for. Hey, you. Shoo her away.
Dump trucks. The fall tomato, yum. The fall bite in half, but tomato because it has bites in it.
It doesn't have bites in it. It's split because it's really ripe.
Oh,
Take a bite. Are they good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you show me how many you got in your bucket? Let's see. Look at how much we got. Just a little bit today. This is probably half, no, it's probably not even half of the dried purple pole beans and yellow beans that are in the garden. And my plan actually is to get some nice little seed packets and have the kids label them, and then we'll give them away as Christmas gifts. So we'll give some seeds to some other friends and family this year because we have so many. Most of the carrots are pretty wonky. But then I got some fairly decent sized ones. Those don't look too bad. Hey, honey? Take a bite.
Too close. Get away. Oh, there's chicken.